Now, Sean, for those of you who may not know, he is a returning member to our North Lake Club after a very, very, very long hiatus. He understands how important it is to keep learning and cultivating the skill of a public speaker, and he plans to be an active member for the long haul this time. So he's not going anywhere. Let's give a warm welcome to Sean Children.
I've always been very shy and introverted growing up. I'd always be the quiet kid in the back of the classroom who wouldn't ever say or do much, and communication is just something that never ever came naturally to me as I've seen it come to others. Just human exchange is always just fascinating and sometimes even just still a mystery to me. You know, even just the simple exchange of, you know, someone saying, "Hi, how you doing?" and the second person goes, "Oh, I'm good," and the first person responds back, "Good," and the two parties just split off and go on their merry ways. That never really made sense with me. That's it. That's all that happened. And really, it just seemed like just wasted time. Anyway, that's probably one of the reasons why I'm in this club. And I do realize how important communication and public speaking is, just like how everyone in this club, otherwise we wouldn't be here. And I want to keep striving to improve this skill. I want to give you guys my introduction and background so you guys get to know a little more about me, again, for those of you who are new here. And it's impossible for me to talk about my whole life in one speech, but I'll try to give the overview as best I can. So starting off, I grew up in a small and quaint town, Decatur, Alabama, not Decatur, Georgia, where I grew up as an only child raised by a single mother. But even though my immediate family was small, my extended family wasn't, with 5 aunts and uncles and 12 cousins. I was very close with all of them at a young age, and I was taught how important family was. We'd come together and have parties very frequently with all those members, and with all those members, there were always a lot of fun. Because of how I was raised, education and hard work were also highly valued. My education was highly valued so much that I actually felt like it was the focal point of whether a person succeeds or fails. There was always this pressure on me to do well in school, even though I hated it. I wasn't the best student, and I was more or less like an A/B student throughout high school. And to most people, this was good, but not to my mom, though. She held me to a high standard, and she expected straight A's, and I just wasn't that smart. So there were a lot of nights where we argued about my grades, and it ended up her whipping my behind, of course. But this instilled the discipline in me to keep working hard, and I actually didn't realize how much of an impact this would have on me until later on. Parents really do know best. This applied especially throughout my college years because I needed to stay grounded with all the partying I was doing. This happened a lot for my first years of college at the University of West Georgia, and boy, was it a lot of fun. But luckily, I was able to keep it together, and I realized I needed to get more serious about my degree, which was computer science, starting with transferring to a more credible school with that specific field. So I did that and went to Georgia Tech, and for the next 3 years, I got my degree. This leads me to get my first job as a software developer at AT&T, and I feel like I'm on top of the world, and I actually am. You see, they said the best years of life was supposed to be in college, but my post-grad experience has been even better for me. One big reason for that was I was able to make money. Now, I was able to do the exact same at my job that I was doing for college, but this time I was the one getting paid instead of me paying the school and getting into debt. This was mind-blowing to me at first. Now, I'm not saying money can buy happiness because that's a whole other debate for another day, but it does give you resources. And it gave me the resources to discover more passions of mine, 2 more of which I'll talk about. The first one is travel. I've always wanted to travel when I was young, but growing up in a single-parent household, it wasn't possible because we just didn't have the means. But now that I was on my own, oh boy, did I go on a tear. The moment I took my first trip, I was hooked. I traveled both domestically and internationally, visiting both Europe and Asia, and I just love exploring how big the world is, along with the different cultures and trying different foods in all places. And I find that it's just really good for my soul, especially with my travels to Asia, because it helped me grow closer to my culture. Because before that, I've just visited Georgia, Alabama, and Florida for the beach occasionally. So that's all I ever knew. It really did help me grow as a person, which is a cool bonus factor that I found, which transitioned to the discovery of my second passion, personal development. I'm always looking to improve myself in every way possible. Every little thing that I can improve my life to be a little better, I like to be open-minded and give it a shot. Things like working out, eating clean, meditation, and waking up without the snooze button. Those are some examples, but that last one is really hard. I go in on and off phases with that one. I like to invest in educating myself, especially in books. So if there's anyone here that's into self-help books, let's talk and trade. Also, I like going to seminars, boot camps, and training courses if I've done enough research to see how legit they are, because some of them could just be trying to get your money But in my experience, there are legit ones out there that provide a lot of value, you know, like this club. So that kind of concludes a brief overview of my background. I hope that gave you guys a clearer picture of who I am. I have grown up and matured throughout those phases, but I still have a long way to go. And I think that self-development is a never-ending, lifelong journey. And what better way to push yourself in this area than to challenge the number one fear, which is public speaking. A big reason why I want to do Toastmasters in the first place. Like I said, I'm an introvert at heart, and I always will be. And as an introvert, I'd much rather be sitting at home, watching Netflix, and eating a whole pizza to myself rather than giving this speech. But that doesn't help with growth. While that option is very comfortable, growth only happens when you push yourself outside your comfort zone. As a new member of this club, hopefully I can help each of you guys grow just like I know how you guys will help me, and let's continue this journey together. Mr. Toastmaster.